We're going to find out.
It's the MTV's best unplugged performance ever was Nirvana. You haven't seen it? Check it out.
I was clapped and you know it.
Already there's contention.
So I'm Susie Daggett.
Corian Red.
Machen, Donald.
And we're co-co's of this beautiful meetup. And today is my last meetup. I'm going to just be going on doing other things that I still don't know what those are, but when I get the dictates from above, I go, okay, let's move along here. Making room. I cleaned out my closet this morning too, but this is all good. I suggest everybody do that. How many are new? Oh, great. Thank you, thank you. And how did you hear about Nevada County Online? Please just shout it out. Online. You checked out a meetup?
Maybe, do you see it through Meetup or Facebook or? Okay, just online. We'll go with that.
What was the URL at the top of this?
Oh, too much information.
Okay, so we are a group of individuals that are involved in business in Nevada County. We have membership that ranges from service providers like graphic artists, copywriters, web designers, internet marketers, and more. We have small businesses that range from cottage businesses to some multi-million-dollar members that aren't here today, but sometimes come. So we're here to support each other in our pursuit of developing our businesses and developing online strategies and systems so that you can find the best ways to get people to your website, to sell your product and service, and be successful online. To that end, we're a volunteer-driven group. We are open to membership in the leadership group for anyone here who thinks that they might have something to add or something to contribute. So if you do have something you'd like to contribute, or just want to find out what that might be like, please talk to Machen or myself. And anyone here, we've got some shoes that are about size 1,000 to fill.
8.5.
Between 8.5 and 1,000. You won't be correcting me anymore, will you?
No.
Okay. Well, some things I won't miss. But we have that opportunity that if you want to talk to us and you would like to help out, facilitate this group and help keep things rolling, it would be great if we had a woman who would step up for that, because although I do like sausage fests, there's a lot here between me and Machen. Come on.
A little feminine energy is
Yes.
always.
See, to balance me, we need another woman up there. You know you. So that said, I'm the speaking coordinator. I'm really looking for speakers to fill out the rest of these. If you have anybody that's in business that's doing something well online and could share that with you, or anyone else that might be in your network, Nate, anyone that you'd recommend, we would love to have some more great speakers of your caliber. So, is that everything there's from? Oh, we meet once a month, fourth Tuesday of the month, 11 o'clock here. It's a donation-driven group, so if you do want to donate, that really helps us out, pay for the room. We also have sponsorships. What is sponsorship?
Oh, I was going to say belly parking.
Belly parking.
Sponsorships, yeah. In order to make this event happen, we do have to rent the room, and we have other expenses that go along with that, and often, well, actually every year we've had a year-end celebration, and that takes some money. So sponsorship is your opportunity for as little as $45 to come up here and have about 5 minutes to promote your business or your recent offering, your product or service, and have a listing on both the Meetup page and the Nevada County Online website for a month. So it's cheap advertising, cheap promotion, and it's targeting the people you want to be targeting. So if you want to learn more of how you can participate in that, just grab me afterwards.
And the recording is on NCTV also for a month. So, right?
Or months or longer.
Yeah.
Well, usually, yeah,
Go
a
through 'em.
month, and then they get paid on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get, people see us online. Some people are not able to come to the meetings, but they'll watch the whole video. That thank you to Doug for producing it for us, and thank you to Evelyn for putting it up. This is part of what the volunteers do. So Jeannie runs the website. Doug does, sorry, I had a moment. David gets a press release together and sends it off to the union, and Corian and Machen and I do our bit to keep it going. So
We don't know what that is, actually, so we're not going to articulate
It's a surprise. Oh, it's a surprise.
Okay, so success stories. You ready to move on to find out more about what you've been doing? So we, at this point in the meeting, typically open it up to hear more about what you're doing. Susie, why don't you describe what we're looking for?
So anybody who has had a recent thumbs up from something they've done on the internet, whether it's through email marketing or whether it's getting an article published, through connections that you didn't even know existed, whatever it is, anybody have an aha that this happened to me and it's all good? We'd love to hear your success story.
Or any questions or challenges, any obstacles?
I'll start.
Yeah.
I'm doing a coast-to-coast road trip this year, and for the first time I ever want someone else to pay for it. And I've been talking to sponsors, and I've never done sponsorship sales ever before. I got a meeting with MailChimp this week.
Whoa.
And I'm scared shitless. I'm pretty excited about that.
That is really, now how did you connect with MailChimp?
I asked, I didn't have an email address for anybody. You know, they're really hard to find. And I was going on a little road trip in California and asked for swag. So I'm going to be teaching some MailChimp workshops. Could I get like some shirts or some hats or something? So they sent me 100 knit caps with a monkey on the top in the middle of summer in California. So I had a bunch of those. So I had it, but I got a name. But I still didn't have her email address. So I just used that and I was like, hey, could we like pull this over to a regular email address and, you know, make this human? And that happened. And it was a very untraditional approach. I used their Expert Exchange email account and I was just like, hey, hook me up. I just asked.
But sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to continue working it. If you just say no email, I better give up, you don't get MailChimp as a sponsor.
Yeah, my name's Holly, and I'm from Truckee, and I run Hey Chef. We're a private kitchen staffing company. And we hold an annual event that's held every year in Truckee called Best of Tahoe Chefs. And all of the chefs participate and give a great amount of our time and money and energy to the cause of the Cancer Center programs. And so I put together this package that goes on auction that involves our chefs and an Iron Chef competition and all of this other swag. And I ended up contacting a national company about their uniforms. We buy aprons and chef uniforms from them on occasion, but we're not a big customer by any means. And I was just surprised at how open and receptive, and not all companies are. Sometimes you'll get the door closed on you and then you think, well, I'm not going to reach out then to the bigger companies. But this is a national company. And it turned into, sure, we'll donate for you 24 of our aprons, so long as you have embroidered on them. Also, our company name, which we did in addition to the event. We put the photographer in on the event, and it turns out they want the use of the photos with photo credit to include in their national catalog. Wow, okay. And it unfolded and turned into a really nice and easy relationship. But it's not always that way. And so I'm trying to remember not to let that stop me, because there are good people in big corporations that are willing to follow up on an email and go, yeah, I'll do this.
You just do not know. You have to show up and you have to be very present, and it's great. Good for you. Anybody else?
I've got one. Last meeting, there was a young man here named Andrew Wright, who's an SEO local specialist. So I talked to him a little bit more and did a phone call with him after and said, okay, I want to see what this kid has got. So I hooked him up with a friend of mine. I own some internet marketing work to a tire shop in Auburn. And he's been great. Did a bunch of citation building and some other work. We've seen rankings gone up, and now we've got #1 rankings on a whole bunch of different keywords. That's a professional networking thing here. So we're going to have some time a little bit later on that maybe you can talk to your neighbor and find out how you might be able to help each other. Ready to get started?
I think we are.
Awkward pause.
No, this is your time to introduce Nate.
We'll get to you. I should mention that we also have Sierra Commons sponsoring today. Sierra Commons is an excellent co-working facility as well as a business education igniter here in Nevada County. Brian Gillings will be talking about that after Nate's. So, email marketing. It is one of the most effective ways to build your business. And so many times I've talked to businesses that are successful, they're focused on building their list. So how do you build that? Get people from getting to know you a little bit to trusting you enough to give you their email address. And from there, that's where you can really have the conversation start. You can develop a sales funnel. So you go from a business they may not know to getting to know what you are and what the benefits to them of doing business with you are. That said, Nate Wright is an expert in that. He has done MailChimp setups and MailChimp consulting for hundreds of businesses around the country. His business is called Small Business Triage, started in Seattle. And now, how long have you been down in this area?
It'll be 3 years in August.
3 years.
So then my daughter was born down the road, so I was back in 2002.
Okay.
So I lived in Grass Valley for a couple of years.
Oh, you did? Great.
Yeah. Long
So,
time.
welcome back. And he's bringing his expertise to us to show you how you can build your business through email marketing and how MailChimp work. And as you can see, we've got the projector screen pulled up. We've got a whiteboard for Nate to go nuts with. And with no further ado, Nate Wright. Email marketing and plus.
All right, so I'm gonna dive in here. My workshop's interactive. Think I'm full of shit? Please say so. Okay, I'm serious. I do custom. Does anyone have a problem with me cussing? I can tone it down, honestly. It's not a big deal. Okay, I'll tone it down so much. So, all right. No F words. Okay, we're gonna dive into email today. All right, and oh geez, I've sent thousands and thousands and thousands of email campaigns and made most of the mistakes you can make and still continue to make mistakes. But there's a few, hell, I'll call them rules. I'll call them rules that I've uncovered over the years that help regardless of what kind of email you're sending. So I'm going to do a quick poll in the room before I dive into this too far. Like 15 seconds. The business that you're in and what you're selling. I'm in the business of training small business owners, and I sell training. That's what I do. All right, you.
My name is Alice, known as Alice Delight. I make and sell crystal beaded jewelry, and when I lived and worked with the San Francisco Art Commission, I collected a lot of emails, but I don't have a website, and I want to contact those people and try to sell some.
It's an untouched email list. Salivate. All right.
I am business of government grants, and I make it easy for people to find them.
Awesome.
I work at the Women's Semester School as the admissions director, so I recruit teens from all over the country to come to Nevada City for one semester of high school.
I'm in the business of creating websites and helping people reach their goals.
Okay.
I do all kinds of things, but the one I'm working on now is more Amazon sales, creating a new product line called Divine Potions.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
I place bartenders, baristas, shoppers, servers, and chefs in people's homes for in-home entertainment that's personal, distinctive, and effortless.
Bench.
I'm looking for something else to do besides substitute teaching.
I like it. All right, you.
Jeff, I work with Health and Wellness.
What are you selling?
Health, wellness, nutrition, sports fitness, weight loss, skincare.
Products, services, all the above? Okay.
Brian Giddens, business doctor.
A business what?
Doctor.
Ooh.
I
like it.
Treatment, I develop and operate blended learning programs for personal and professional development.
Jennifer Langdon, I'm a writer, but I'm here today representing a small nonprofit that provides support services for Nevada County's most vulnerable children and families.
Interesting. Okay.
Troy Edwards, I do network marketing and I market brain health products.
Got it.
Jan Fischler, I'm a freelance writer and I sell words.
Okay. Business, creative, journalism, what flavor of writing?
Pardon me?
What flavor of writing? Freelance writing means everything.
Oh, I've been writing a column in the local paper about healthy options, but I've done everything from tech writing to blog posts to articles to you name it.
Okay.
Jill Corrigan, and I'm here because I still am trying to figure out what I want to do.
Okay.
I moved here a couple years ago and haven't really worked since then, but I was in the health education, lactation consultant.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Dennis. I have a website. I'm a retailer, and my primary market is emergency preparedness and outdoor recreation.
Okay. Next.
I'm Kathy Simonson. I work in the media industry. I do sales training and sales and marketing consulting. I have a great list, and people open it and love to read my newsletter, but I have a hard time getting them to click through more information on my services.
The clicks. That's definitely a moving target. Sir.
My name is Glenn. I'm with SCORE. SCORE is associated with the Small Business Administration. We do small business consulting, help people get started in their business and help the business get better.
Awesome.
My name is Tyler. I'm pursuing my real estate license currently and selling local wine.
That sounds fun.
My name is Harry. I'm a professional scout photographer, and I help athletes navigate their way through, or help athletes build a digital platform that makes sense for them.
Very cool.
My name's Lauren. I am a therapist. My online presence is as an e-therapist. I help people with personal development, transform into the people they've always wanted to be.
Remotely? Okay, cool.
My name is David Franks, and I'm the founder of Global Commercial. We're an online marketing company, and we're vertically integrated where we develop our products and we distribute. And I also write the press releases for the Nevada County Online group here.
All right.
My name's Jessica. Right now I'm working on a website for health coaching, specifically juice fasting for cleansing, detox, weight loss.
Okay.
Mary Weaver, Public Relations, professional job seeker.
I like it. Okay, the reason I did that is I tried to, oh wait, you just came in. What's your business and what do you sell?
My name is Nicole Wu. I have Stone House, one of the most beautiful buildings for banquets, concert, bar, fine drinks.
Got it. Okay, thanks for, well, it helps me just to figure out, basically, we're all over the map here, which is good. Okay, before we dive into actual emails, let's talk about why email. Why email? I mean, right now, I used to teach it and sell it, social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube. YouTube is a broadcast platform too, but Google Plus, all right? Why email? Email is still built on this old technology that still works. People hold on to their email addresses for usually a long time. I saw a Juno.com account come into my inbox the other day. I didn't know they were still in business. Roadrunner.com, I saw that in an email list recently. I was like, wow, they're still in business too. So, old stuff. The thing is that as social media changes and as the rules change, email's steady. Now, people, you know, I have multiple email addresses, but the likelihood of being able to remain in contact with someone is higher with email, period. As from a conversion perspective, with very few exceptions. I mean, in food, I know that Instagram still converts pretty high. I'm not sure exactly how, you can't put a link in there, but that's different magic for a different day. Email, okay? So, Corian mentioned the funnel. Who here knows what a sales funnel is? Awesome. All right. So, the traditional modern digital marketing funnel, right, is you've got some sort of social media up here, or events, or some sort of outreach, reaching out to strangers. And then at some point, you convert it to an email address. And then at some point, you get a meeting. And at some point, you close them, right? It's the basic funnel, okay? What ends up happening, though, is oftentimes people try to skip steps. If you can skip steps, go for it. I'm all about shortening the sales process. I love shortening things. But those emails, do not confuse your social media tactics and your social media way of talking with email. They are different tools. They are different. Tactically, it's very different, okay? They complement each other well for most businesses, but it needs to be treated separately. So your scheduling, your content, your tone of voice, everything about an email needs to be treated a bit differently, okay? I just wanted to build that foundation first. All right, targets and influencers. Targets and influencers. Let's paint a scenario here. We've got, ma'am in the back, the remote, was it health, like coaching of some sort, or?
E-therapy.
E-therapy, okay? So in this case, it doesn't have to be local.
Right.
And so tell me about, we'll pick on her today. Is that okay? Use you as an example.
All about being picked.
Okay. So what does your perfect client look like? The perfect client. Describe them to me. I'm not talking demographics. I mean, maybe some gender. But like, what kind of person are they?
My kind of person, my perfect client is somebody who is probably, they tend to step outside the lines. They tend to do things a little bit differently. They don't follow the norm. They're generally college educated, but they don't have to be. They are somebody who has tried to do things and they have failed big, and they're at some crisis in they're at some juncture in their life. Something has failed big. It's either been a marriage or a relationship or a job. They've been working at something, and after about 5 or 7 years, they are not able to turn it around.
So they're stuck.
They're stuck. They're looking for they're looking for a breakthrough, and they're looking for a way of being that they've never been before.
Okay, so what you just described there is their target. Okay, this is going to sound very simple to probably everybody in here, but understanding the difference between a target and an influencer was most of my clients mess up. Okay, distinguishing those two is really important. The target in this case is outside the box thinker. They're going through some crap and they're stuck. Okay, who influences the buying decisions of those people?
Their wife.
What's that?
Their wife.
Wife, husband, who else? And the thing is that might be the issue. So, right? Is it mostly marital, or is it?
A lot of it comes around after some kind of relationship trial. So yes, but people come to me more often as individuals, even if it is about a marriage, or so they haven't necessarily targeted and said, okay, I want to fix the marriage. They're coming because they're like,
they don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, and also a fair number of people want to leave the marriage, but they don't really know how. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who influences the buying decisions of those people? This is a tough one. It's a very tough one.
Their problems, do.
Okay.
Close friends?
Close friends.
The people who influence them are the people who can fund it, or who take away from the fund. So a lot of them have children, and they've been putting a lot of their money into their children already. A fair number of people get support from their parents to be able to pay for therapy. So and also I would say something else that influences their buying decision is what they think they should be doing.
So who influences the buying decision? They do. Okay, who else?
Whoever's controlling the situation.
Specifics. Give me an example. All right, so I've been through a big breakup before. Been through a couple. The kind that you're I had to like peel myself off the linoleum kind of breakup, right? So if I was in a position there and I had budget and I wanted to make a decision to find somebody to help me, I wouldn't even know who she is. Not right away. So who would influence my buying? Who can tell me, Nate, just drop everything and hire her. She will help you.
One of her prior clients.
Yes. Yes. Okay, good. All right. That's a really tough one. Let's use one more example, okay? And then we're gonna dive into actual email framework behind all this. All right, let's, products. Let's talk about a product. Who sells products in here? Sir.
Health and wellness.
Okay.
Nutrition.
So like a supplement, give me a specific product.
Weight loss.
Okay. Like something, a pill or a drink or?
Drinks, shakes.
Okay. So I'm trying to get healthy. So need to lose some weight, and I actually do. okay, in this particular case. But I don't know him. Who? Give me examples of people or companies or institutions that would influence my buying decisions. Not, I want to go to McDonald's instead of Burger King today, okay?
The public review or opinion.
Public review, okay, so who is an authority in the weight loss space that everyone would say, yes, I believe him, other than Oprah? What's that?
Dr.
Ross? All right, so, yes, sir.
Various wellness letters.
You can give me an example.
Consumer Reports has one, Harvard, Berkeley.
Okay, Consumer Reports, Harvard, big names. Ma'am?
I think people get referrals from their doctors or nutritionists as well.
That's true, the people they're already spending money with.
Yelp.
Okay.
Friends.
What about Yelp?
Yelp, absolutely. On the product side, not as much. On the service side, yes. Angie's List, if it was a service. Product, definitely Consumer Reports. So let's bring it down to the Nevada County level. Who in Nevada County has the authority to say that he's the best?
Word of mouth.
But what person?
Chamber of Commerce might have, there's publications that come out.
But who has the authority to say that he is the best?
So the local newspaper had the best of the
The local newspaper, they've got an annual contest or something?
There's a local wellness writer in the union.
Okay, hold on, that's perfect. She's an influencer. Okay, so targets versus so target is someone you want to sell to. An influencer is three things. The reason I mention this is that when you're working with your email marketing, yeah, you got your list of potential customers and you got your list of current customers and dormant customers or clients or whatever, okay? People that you want to have some sort of financial transaction with. Basic business 101. However, the influencers is how you push the dial for it. That's how you rapidly grow your list. Okay? It's interacting with those influencers. Okay? Influencers, three things. Number one, they influence buying decisions. Okay? Not just regular tastemakers are different. There are certain tastemakers that say that, black is out and blue is in. That doesn't influence an actual direct buying decision. But if I say to somebody, to one of my people, I was like, listen, you need to hire her. Drop everything and just hire her and she will help you. There's certain people in my network that I influence that blindly will follow me. They'll blindly follow me because I've established credibility and authority with them. Okay, I can influence their buying decision. Number two, they need to be bigger than you. Okay? So, let's use another example. The private kitchen staffing. Okay? And what's your ideal client look like?
Oh, they're a second homeowner, like Tahoe is affluent, is from the Bay Area.
Okay, I like that specifics, okay? So, real estate agents, right? Yes, sir.
What sense do you mean bigger?
I'll explain it in a second. Real estate agents, right? They know who's coming and going, who's buying, who's spending money. Okay, they've got a list. So you've got a real estate agent that has a really good black book of maybe 300 homeowners. And you but you have a list of 500. Then you find someone that has a list of 1,000. Even though that's not a giant number, but that's 1,000 potential customers that they have access to. They already influence the buying decision of those amount of people. For me, I influence maybe 5,000 small business owners, so not a huge amount. I'm not that big of a deal. I like to think that I am, but I'm not. But when I interact with influencers, I'm looking for people that have a list of 10,000. I'm looking for someone that has 50,000 Twitter followers. I'm looking for someone that has bigger reach. Okay? Number three, an active channel. Okay? This is one where most people make the mistake. All right. You ready for the union? Okay. Do you have a mailing list?
Yeah.
Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
You're on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay. She has, and you actively interact with people there. She has an active marketing channel. However, I've seen plenty of journalists and people that own magazines and people that are big deals that don't have an active channel. I've seen celebrities with 1 million or 10 million likes on Facebook that have all these posts but no comments. There's no interaction. They don't have a way to actually talk to these people. All right? This is an influencer, okay? That's the basic, and it needs to be all three. It needs to be all three. All right? All right, so let's talk about the email. Okay, so there's a couple different flavors of email, all right? You've got your newsletter. All right, and that's a newsletter. I find it most helpful, regardless of what kind of business you're in, as a way to keep people warm, keep people interested. In marketing, they call it the top of mind, okay? This is to keep them interested. I rarely ever use newsletters to sell. Rarely. I would say I've got 2 out of the 50 clients that I'm working with right now in email marketing, 2 of them actually sell via their newsletter, okay? I don't sell via mine. I sell free stuff, you know? Come show up to a workshop free. But even then, I don't spend that much time doing that, okay? The reason why is the newsletter, in order to retain those people, what ends up happening with the newsletter is the content may be good. Or there's a handful of writers in here. There's people with interesting stories. There's stuff that visually looks cool. Like Emily here, a woman. The campus is gorgeous. It's super cool. Kids doing rad stuff. Well, I wish I could have done when I was a kid. It's cool. It's visually appealing. So they've got visuals. They've got the story. They've got all this stuff going for them. But time after time after time, people sell on their newsletters every week, every month, every day. And in some cases, there are cases where it's okay. But think, you know what a metronome is? So you're selling, it's like, sell. Starts to get monotone and really, really boring. All right? If you insist on selling via a monthly newsletter or a weekly newsletter or whatever, if you insist, or maybe it's part of your job, adjust the tempo. So share. Yeah, share. Yeah. Okay? Watch the tempo. All right, the tempo. Sorry, my handwriting's awful. All right? Tempo, really important. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to spend a little time on newsletters, and we're going to loop back to influencers, all right? I started with influencers because I can help every person in this room with this stuff if you understand how to approach an influencer with an email. That's how I can help everyone in here make money, frankly. Just in the constraints of my 57 minutes. Okay? The newsletters is what happens in between. Okay, let's get into tactics. Subject lines. Who here is good at writing subject lines? We got some writer. Oh, okay. Right there in the back. I saw that hand. What was the last subject line you pushed out?
Oh, gosh. Big blank.
Okay, anyone else?
Management made excellent.
Okay. And who's this going to?
To publishers.
Okay. All right. That's the subject line. What was the from name? What was the from email? Who's it from?
Oh, it's my name, Kathy Simonson.
And what was the email address?
It's ksimonson@mediagrowth.com.
Okay. Right off the bat, good. Always use a human name in the from part. That from name is so important. People obsess about the subject lines, but most people are ignored because they don't know who you are. Or they're not curious about who you are. I've done test after test after test. And I've asked people, well, we've got to use that. We always use our support at XYZ plumbing email address. I don't care. Use a human name. okay? Use a human name. Even transactional emails, like thank you for your order. Find a way to use a human name. I'm guilty of that. I need to upgrade all my transactional emails in my order process to actually display Nate Wright, Seth Rasmussen, Scott Matson, one of the guys on my team. Okay? Yes?
You were talking earlier about MailChimp and how hard it was to find a name. Is this, I mean, one of the times where you don't use it? I mean, they're doing okay.
Does anyone here?
Don't you think you get to
Those are first world problems.
right?
So,
Right.
yeah.
Don't you think you get to a size that some companies set up a veil so that you can't get to the
Yeah, it's, they what do they
Right.
call them? Gatekeepers.
Yeah.
But even then, so I'm bigger now, right? I've got a team and a couple offices, and you know, I'm not a tiny business now. Now I'm a small business, right? So even then, human name. Here's why. Well, why do people do business locally? Why do people do business with small businesses? Why do they spend 20% more at a local store instead of going to Walmart? Well, there's not a Walmart here, is there? It's not a Target here.
No.
Well, they drive to Auburn for that, right? Isn't that the closest place? Well, the reason they do that is because they're willing to pay more for a human connection. They want a human being, so why would you play like a big corporate when the reason they're buying from you is you're a small business? They want to talk to a human being. I mean, look, when I bring up all the evils, Comcast, all right? You know, the whirlpool of inhumanity there, but I still buy from them because they have the fastest internet, so, yes.
So my email address has a credential that's not related to what I'm doing right now. Does that matter?
The email address itself? What's
Yeah.
the email address?
It has MSW in with my name.
That's fine. I mean, it's ultimately, this little part right here is the more important part, and your name is somewhere in the email. You just don't want the support at, the info at, the contact at. I have a client that insists on using email at pearlparadise.com. It drives me bonkers. But I was able to get a certain way to get some of their emails sent from the CEO's name. 15% open rate, 35% open rate. Human name. Now convincing them to push everything over that way, it's a branding thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna keep working on it though. I'm gonna keep chipping away. Oh, go ahead.
Personal issue. My email list is old, and when I sold at the Ferry Building in San Francisco, and I'm trying to figure out how to get them to remember me and not sound like spam.
I've got a tactic for that I'll share. Remind me at the very end to talk about that. That's a little bonus tip. Something a little tool that I use that helps warm up those cold emails.
Just a little old-fashioned aside is that I got really pissed off at DirecTV around Christmas time, sending out little cards with a person's name. It doesn't say DirecTV in the return address.
Mm-hmm.
So you open it up thinking you're getting a Christmas card from somebody you forgot about. It's, hi, I'm DirecTV. And I think it's sort of maybe the same thing with email. Sometimes, if they don't know you, can't that kind of tick them off?
Spam.
If you're gonna be running a business, you need to be okay with pissing people off. I'm serious. I'm serious. I mean, it's called, Derek Sivers calls it confident exclusion. You're gonna confidently exclude. If they can't handle that, the fact that you're reaching out to them and wanting to share something, wanting to communicate with them, okay? Just human name. Thousands and thousands of campaigns, human name. There's very few exceptions, and if you think you're the exception, go for it, but test it out. All these email marketing, MailChimp, all these email marketing platform, Aweber, they all have A/B testing options. Test it. Test one against the other and see which one works. I've been wrong before. Okay, I've seen boring subject lines win A/B tests time and time again. Yes?
I mean, I didn't mean to make it sound like you were pissing people off. Excuse the language, but you know, I just felt that way when I got that letter.
And I've gotten the same feedback, and we'll get into that in the body. From name, subject line, okay? Subject lines, first of all, test them. If you don't know how to test it, there's a lot of people inside this room that know how to do that, okay? A/B testing, multivariate testing, just see which one works. Do one month, one the other, and see what works, okay? There are no rules for subject lines. There are trends, there are stats, there are rules of thumb, but there are no hard and fast rules. Every time I thought I was following a rule and tested it out or tried it out and had it blow up in my face, human beings are fickle. Email clients are fickle, okay? Subject line, management made excellent. The only thing I would do differently here is it's missing specifics. Well, whenever you can, try to be specific with the subject line. So you could say weight loss products and get captured in every spam filter in everyone's email account, right? Or you could say, reduce the pooch. That's something different. Still not specific though, okay? But it's human. So actually, let's play with that one. I would open this email just because. I would.
You're a dog lover.
What's that?
You're a dog lover.
I am. I've always called it the pooch. I don't know. Maybe it's something. I have no idea. But reduce the pooch. But be specific. All right. If you're sending out, someone asked me just yesterday, I should put the month of the newsletter in there. Why not? It's something specific. It's the April newsletter. Maybe you should put the word April in there. Tested that out, and usually it does better. But general rule of thumb: be specific. Okay. In this case, this still isn't specific, but the way we can make it more specific is it could be a specific about where they're located, or
Wouldn't you want to say whether it's a service, a product, a process? And wouldn't you want to give me a little more information than that?
Oh.
How about time? How about a time frame?
Time frame isn't specific. Time frame can be specific. It could be. You can build. The thing is, reduce the pooch today, or maybe you can make it personal and say reduce your pooch. We could wordsmith this all day long, but ultimately, here's how I describe it. Okay. Specifics, and this is the body of the email, the subject line, the PS block, your signature block. Specifics, okay? All right, so we got a rock climbing wall here, all right? And your ideal customers are milling about down here, okay? And you need them to do something. You need them to click. You need them to reply. You need them to show up. You need them to do something. You need them to make effort to get to you. So you've got this big rock climbing wall here, and you've got, you find something, here you go. Now there's nothing for me to grab. That. I don't know whose that is, but I'm going to use it. Okay? So we've got this here, right? This is generic. This is not a handhold. This is specific. It's a handhold. What they're looking for, and they're looking at your brand, they're looking at your company, they're trying to find somewhere they can connect. So you got to leave specifics. And yet you will exclude certain people that may not be in that region or may not know that joke or know what that is, but you gotta leave them some handholds and some footholds so they can get to you. They're not gonna even climb the wall. You won't even know they exist until they grab onto something. Like, yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm alive. Yes, I'm paying attention. And that's where the marketing and the sales and all that stuff comes in. Specifics, okay? All right, body of the email. So, recap, human name, be specific in the subject. I can talk about subject lines for hours, all right? But ultimately, every target group is different. So you think hard about how they respond to. Maybe publishers respond great to that. I don't know. I wouldn't respond to that, but I'm not a publisher. I'm not, okay? Okay, the body. All right, so there's two different things. So we've got two different flavors of email. We have newsletters, and we've got just a regular cold email. Emailing a stranger, okay? The rules are roughly the same. In the newsletters, the tempo is important, okay? I would say even more important than sometimes the body. Oftentimes, people just get used to seeing stuff from you in their inbox. They might not even open it. But if you build something consistent and consistently see a different subject line, they might not open the email. I've had clients not open any of my emails for a year and then turn into my best clients. This one, So either a few things. It may have been I was being boring, bad timing, maybe they weren't buying, maybe they had one of those inboxes that had 16,000 unread messages, and maybe they finally cleaned it up. There's so many reasons it could be, okay? But here's the basic framework, all right? So we got two different things. Why me? Why you? Why now? And what next? Okay? For a first newsletter, if it's a cold list, use this framework. For a cold email, you always use this. All right, let's use an example. I'm sending out my first newsletter. Let me pick some other business here. Service business. Yours, okay, the private staffing, okay? And you're reaching out, and you are reaching out to homeowners. And say it's a list you've never emailed to before. It is a cold list, all right? And they may have opted in, or you may have gotten it from a landing page somewhere, or you got access to it via a conference or a convention or an event. Oh yeah, here's the list, here's the attendee list. It's cold. Why me? She provides a very specific service. I doubt there's any competition for that specific thing in your area. Not direct competition. All right? Why you? You own a home, you need help. Why now? I don't know. Why would they call you or reply to an email or click on something the day something?
Summer's about to come and you want to reserve your things right now before we're booked.
All right, so there's a scarcity thing there. What next? Otherwise known as the call to action. Okay? Why me? Why you? Why now? What next? Be specific in every case. Okay? Here's another example here. Woman. Emily from Woman, I just helped her, it was last week. Reaching out to high school counselors. Why me? I am Emily. I'm the admissions director at Woman. We're a rad school that does sustainability, nonviolent communication, specifics. Why you? I know that your school has done some amazing things in the sustainability space, and I think this would be a good option for the right student. Okay? Not for all, this for the right student. Why now? Got 6 slots for meeting. We extended our admissions period for a month. And I'm going to be in your area first week of May. What next? Reply to this email and let me know if you're available to meet between X date and Y date. Okay? Why me, why you, why now, what next? This applies, as that was the cold email. In the newsletter format, when you're sending it to a lot of people, you still use this format, but it doesn't need to be in this order. In fact, you could break this up in separate emails, but ultimately, and this is what it all breaks down to. This framework, even if you don't use it in the writing of your email, be thinking about it. Because in the end, why should I care? It's like, not why do I care about the company, why do I care about you, or you, or you? All right? Okay. Now we're getting to the good stuff. So, by the way, that email will work with a target or an influencer. You just have to structure it correctly. So if it's a target, it's like, it's more of the direct pitch. I know you've got this need or you got this want, and I manufacture your drug of choice, okay? Or, and I've got it available now, but the time is running out. Or for an influencer, I'm a super fan. I've been a fan of you for years, and I've been afraid to contact you so far, but I have this project going on that I think is awesome enough for your glorious gaze. All right, fluffing their ego a little bit, okay? I would love to steal 15 minutes from you to talk about this in real time. Can you talk next Tuesday at 4 p.m.? It's an influencer. Why me, why you, why now, what next? Okay, because in this case, the influencer, you don't have anything to offer them directly because they're more important than you. They already have more customers than you. But oftentimes, just being honest and saying, hey, I need your help. You're awesome, and I'm trying to be awesome like you. Sometimes that direct approach, almost like the mentorship angle, is really effective. Yes?
I just wanted to share that I've been writing this column since January, and I'm shocked I've only gotten one person pitch me. One person.
One pitch?
Only one person sent me an email, and she, I said, yeah, hey, no problem, that's great, sure, would love to write about you. But I'm shocked that I never get people contacting me.
I get a couple bad pitches a week, but they're mostly
Isn't that
bad
crazy?
pitches.
I mean,
Yeah.
I find it pretty nuts, so.
That's why identifying your influencers is so important, because if you take the Dr. Oz's and the Oprahs of the world, all the O's, then, the Obama, right, pretty O's, and then you break down to maybe like a national paper, and then you break down to the local level. You start with the easy ones first, start with the locals. You get good at it there, you get the pitch down, okay? All right, this is the meat of it. All right. We're covering a lot of territory in a short amount of time. Okay. With all of your email communications, newsletters, cold emails, influencers emails, sales emails, transactional emails, all of them, be human, be specific, and care, okay? If you want to be a big corporation and have 18 layers of gatekeepers, then that's a different skill set. It's not what we're teaching today, but be human. If you're doing therapy or in a business that requires a certain level of intimacy, I know coaching is, there's business coaches in here, right? I mean, I've had clients cry. I've had them laugh. I've had them break down. I've had them scream. Because it's personal. All right? Be human. Be vulnerable. These people, that's why the human name is so important. It's okay for grammars to slip through if you don't talk using the correct English. Just throw it out there. Sorry. Throw it out there, okay? I cuss, I throw cussing in my emails, and I've lost people because of it, but I've gained the type of people that I want to work with. Because that's who I am. I'm messy, I'm abrasive, I'm a little bit mean sometimes. I love the sound of my own voice too. Except on a recording, it still trips me out. Be human, okay? On the cold of being human right off the bat, from the first sentence. You know, and it needs to be authentic too, but it's being human. All right? Be specific. I cannot stress this enough. Oh my goodness gracious, the specifics matter. Okay? Like when she mentioned is like, all right, we're going through a breakup, okay? Oh yeah, I've been through a breakup before. That really hurt. No. I'm gonna be human, I'm gonna be specific. Okay? So I was coming out of alcoholism when I went through my big breakup. And my big turning point was when I got stabbed in the chest with an end of a pointy paintbrush in the middle of a really bad fight. With all the neighbors looking down from their upper floor windows. As I was living in the good neighborhood, I had arrived. So yeah, I do know how it feels. So which one are you gonna listen to? Okay? It was the specifics. It was the long paintbrush, the floodlights, the neighbors peering down. You know, things being thrown, bouncing off the trampoline. Specific. There's storytellers, writers in here. Tell the story. It's those little specifics. It's those little hooks. Those little details. And the details about it, and it's asking the specific questions. And there was a gal that used to work in staffing I worked with a long time ago. And they used to play with different salutations, like different greetings. Yeah. Hey, this is whatever. AB staffing. How can we make your day fantastic? I love that. And that was them. That's how they were. They was like super ridiculously cheerful people. I made me uncomfortable because I'm not that way at all. But they're being human. And it was specific. What can I do today? Time sensitive, right? What can I do today to make your day better? No, fantastic. Going for the big win. All right? And care. This is, what do they say? Cold email is like a first date. It's like a first date. You're gonna be human, which means you're gonna be a bit nervous. You're gonna share the boring stories first. And if things go well, you actually start getting into specifics, okay? But what do they tell guys? I don't know what advice women get about dating. I don't know what they tell guys about dating. It's just listen. Just ask good questions. Just listen. I'm the worst listener ever. So for me, I write this down before I send out an important email. Because sometimes I actually forget. I do care, but I don't always communicate it. Sometimes it's remembering those small details. And if it's a big mass email, find something else. You know, like, let me know what you're up to. I want to know. And actually, but be genuine about it. If I don't care about it, I'll just send an email. And then all this stuff, people can read through it between the lines and figure out if you're being inauthentic or not. Like DirecTV, you know? Be human, be specific, and care. Every single,
How does the care apply to products that you're trying to sell?
Well, you're selling that product to them because they're trying to solve a problem, right? Or trying to better their life in some way.
Jewelry.
Well, it makes them feel pretty. Do you want them to feel beautiful? I really hope, if it's a customer's, I really hope that when you put this on, you feel like the most beautiful person in the room. I mean, would that not work? Because you're caring, that's what you want them to feel, all right? You want them to feel, even for the boring stuff, like in business to business space, it gets boring all the time. How do I care about them? I show them interesting things. I showcase them. I put the spotlight on all the awesome things they're doing. And I put the spotlight on my own mistakes to show that, yes, I am human too. It's vulnerability, okay? Be human, be specific, and care. This is absolutely critical, and it doesn't have to be done all at once, but you need to be thinking about these things when you send any sort of email, because you want the customer or the influencer to care about you. You want them to care enough to reply, to click. In some cases, you're going to be asking them to fill out a form. If you're asking them to buy something, you better be thinking about it. I want you to fill out your name, last name, multiple lines of a billing address, 16 digits. I'm going to flip over your card, put the 3 digits on the back, and click the submit button. That is a lot of steps to ask for. So you're going to be asking for that. Once you get the framework down and you build that habit of that, and sometimes it's just a single line or a single word. Just add those little flavors. It's like you're sending them bland food. Don't send boring emails. They could be short too. Some of the most effective emails are like 3 lines long. It's been ages since we've talked. I feel awful. Can we connect next week? Because I feel bad if I don't talk to someone for like a year. I've had clients and prospects slip through the cracks. I've been that guy. Well, you haven't called me for like 2 years, Nate. Why should I do business with you now? You know, and then it's a whole different workshop on how to deal with that problem. Be human, be specific, care. Okay, I promised tools, all right? Okay, any questions? I know we're going to go on airy-fairy here, but yeah.
Yeah, just a couple of quick questions. What is the target percentage of opens on an email you try to shoot for? What's average, what's wonderful, what's horrible?
On a well-curated email list, 25% is average.
25%?
Yeah, if it's a well-curated email. If it's an old, cold email list, or it's a big email list, like from 10 years worth of customers' transactions, yeah. 10 to 15% sometimes is fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Low.
Well, the thing is that when you've got those old lists, there's ways to, and we're going to go over some of the tools here, there's ways to reactivate those dormants. And then you need to treat your dormant subscribers different than your active ones. In some cases, I actually pull them into a different list and send them different content. So, but those, now my clients get way better than that, but that's because they pay me to do it. But, I mean, 25% open is totally respectable, you know? And I've had people with a 10% open rate that were getting 5% before. Ultimately, it's the interactions. The clicks, the replies are more important than the opens. Okay?
Yeah. All right.
I was just going to mention that with regards to Outlook, you know, people can view your email, but they may not open the email, and that can really throw off
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Gmail just rolled out something where in certain cases it'll auto display images and give you an overinflated sense of opens when it actually wasn't an open. So there's the clicks and the interactions. Yes.
So speaking of clicks and interactions, how do you get people to do that? They like your content, and how do you get them to respond to it?
Rule number one, give them less things to click on. Has everyone here been to Applebee's? Applebee's, right? Okay. And how many people have been to In-N-Out? What's the difference?
Choice.
All right, what do they call it? The psychology of it's choice paralysis. Right?
Either one.
No, you get because we started a little late.
Okay, so choice paralysis. So I just sent out an email. I'm an expert at this stuff, right? And I sent out an email like, and we've got a lot of stuff going on, and it feels exciting for me as a business owner to have all these clients and these great client stories, case studies, and trips and workshops, and all this awesome stuff to share. And I made the cardinal error of trying to share all of it at once. And I had like 25 links in my email, and we get the report back, and it was like, we got like less than 1% click rate. For me being in the business, it was embarrassing. And you know why? It was too many things to click on. Everything was flipping underlined and bolded and arrowed and like buttons all over the place. It was an absolute bloody mess. There was too much to click on. And landing page, I mean, you got people in here that, you know what landing pages are? You know, squeeze pages, sales pages, right? That's one of the basic fundamentals is reduce, get rid of the menu. You know, a lot of people want to they want to make their newsletter look like their website. They want to go to the website, I'll just send them to the website. All right, those top menus, that's more choices. Just narrow them, tell them where you want them to click. And as a rule of thumb, 3. Okay, images being clickable is an exception, but it just is just a rule of thumb until you figure out what your subscribers really want. And that might tell you they want more to click on. I've had people tell me that. So you've got your primary call to action. Schedule an appointment, okay? Schedule an appointment today. You've got a secondary call to action. Reply to this email with any questions. Hit reply, click reply. That right there is my #1 favorite call to action. It is my most effective call to action. It is not human, it is not specific, it is not caring, but that call to action is very effective because I don't want to send people to my website, I want to talk to them so I can find out what's going on and either refer them somewhere else, but somehow take care of them. I want to be, that is my goal with almost all of my clients. And it's tough, so if you got a list of 25,000 or 100,000 people, would you still use that same call to action? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you can send people surveys all day long, but getting someone to reply and getting conversation going, that's where all the good stuff is. That's where they tell you what they want. And who doesn't want that, right? Okay, reduce the amount of stuff you can click on. And also, test it. So maybe 1 month, try an image, then try a button, then try text. In my newsletters, most people like to click on the text link, not the images of the buttons. In other newsletters, they love the buttons. There's a whole science behind that. I'm good at it, but not great. There's some good usability blogs. If you want to tap me on the shoulder afterwards that you can look at. There's probably a few people in here that understand UI and usability stuff with really figuring out what color button, what edging to put around it, what the contrast color is, the whole science behind it. It's pretty fascinating, actually. But for rule of thumb, less links, and sometimes you just need to earn it. You need to earn that click. So you could tease them, keep reading. You can use the intrigue. So everyone wants to look behind the curtain. So you share part of it, and then you want to see like my most epic fail of 2015, like here. That kind of stuff, it's link bait, but it works. It might just be a picture they want to see a bigger version of. I'll pack an infographic in a little small space like this, and it clearly has lots of details, and everyone clicks on it. Does it result in more business for me? In my case, absolutely not. But I got a click, right? So you have to think about it. You want to reply, you want to click, you want the phone. Make your phone number clickable. Make your phone number clickable. So if they open it up on their cell phone, tap to dial. So that's It's a little snippet of HTML. So, all right. Any other questions? Was that not a question? That's 5 minutes.
5 questions or 5 minutes.
Okay. So, yeah.
So you had you said that maybe 3, and then you said primary, small, secondary. What would be your third?
Oh, what? I said there's rules and there's trends. The biggest trend, all right, if you have a letter style newsletter, okay, the most clicked on thing in the newsletter is usually going to be the header logo, okay? The header logo. So don't send them to your website, send them somewhere else. Send them to a different landing page. Send them to something localized to that group, okay? If your homepage is amazing, I know my front page isn't, but if your front page is amazing, you can send them to the homepage, it's fine. But the second most clicked on area of the email is the PS block. PS. That's where I put my primary call to action here. So your primary call to action is you want a meeting, you want them to buy something, you want them to refer, you want them to publish that story. Secondary call to action is you know they're not ready to buy, but you keep the conversation going. Like reply or look at some videos. You pull them down the content trail a little bit, okay? Depending on what kind of business you have. And the third call to action is sometimes something wacky. In some cases, I'll use that third link to send traffic somewhere else. I might send it to an influencer. And then the next week, I'll contact that influencer. It's like, hey, Tony, I actually just shared one of your articles in my newsletter. And it blew me away, and I would love to pick your brain a little more on the topic, because I don't see how this big business thing quite applies to small business, but I'd like to know. I want to talk. That email worked. That guy has 150,000 email subscribers, mostly medium businesses, but he has influence, and now he's offered to introduce me to all these other important people. But what I did is I used that third link as a way to scratch their back, a way to do them a favor. I want influential people to owe me. I want them to owe me. I mean, IOUs mean nothing anywhere else, right? Okay, PS block is the second most clicked on place. Number 2 is the PS block. Because you've got 2 kinds of people. You've got people that look at the top, is this relevant, yes, no, and sometimes they'll just hit reply or jump right into it. And you got people like me that scroll to the bottom to get to the punchline. I'm the type of guy that looks up the Game of Thrones spoilers before I watch the episode so that I can skip over the boring parts. I'm that guy, okay? So yeah, I'll jump to the PS block first. That's about 20 to 30% of people on average. They'll scroll down, they won't even read it, just scroll. All right, very length, yeah?
I just have another question, are you ready?
Go for it.
You mentioned a tip to warm up cold email lists.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so quick recap before I dive into the tools. I'll spend like 2 minutes on it. And I'll be available for questions afterward. All right, so the framework for a cold email or for a first newsletter. The first newsletter, don't do a fancy newsletter looking thing like you'd send in the mail. Use a letter format, okay? Human. Get a little image of your signature. I love those things, I don't know why. You know, you can't sign an email really, but having a little signature, I just like it. Having a picture down there sometimes helps, making it human. Why me? Why you? Why now? What next? And whether or not you actually write it, sometimes I'll format my emails that way, but it depends on who you're writing to, what your style is, but at least answer those questions before you send the email. So make sure you're hitting those notes. Why should I care about you? Why should you care about me? Why should you talk to me right now? And what do I want you to do for me? Okay? Relevance, okay? Second piece of the framework. Be human, be specific, and care. Okay, I cannot stress the specific, more importantly, that's the most common mistake I see. Is people get generic, and generic means boring. Be specific. And I would challenge anyone in this room who thinks they're in a business that's a little bland, and I can find specifics. I can find specifics. In business, sometimes it's the numbers, you know? I took a $425 investment and turned it into $12,233.22. It's specific. That's something. All right? Tools. This year, I spent a lot of time sending cold emails. All right? So I stepped out of MailChimp, which is my primary weapon of choice. Stepped out of MailChimp, and I started sending individual emails. Then my list got bigger and it got too clunky. So I started researching mail merge. Anyone that's been around printed out and direct mail before, all of us know mail merge, right? Well, I use Yesware now. So what I'll do is I will write a personal note from my email address to the cold list before I send it in a newsletter platform. And Yesware, there's other programs that do this. There's free ones. This one's like 25 bucks a month. And what it does is it sends individual emails out. And mail merges, so if you've got their company name and the date of their last purchase and their first name, be like, hey Joe, it's been a while since company name bought anything from us, and frankly I'm feeling a little hurt. I would totally write that in because that's me. But you could actually use the merge tags, but it sends out as individual emails, meaning that for Gmail users, it skips the promotion tabs. It'll show up in their primary email spot because it's not sent out via service. It's not a match. It sends out one after the other, after the other, after the other. So I do this first. And what'll happen is I'll get a whole bunch of bounces. I'll get some angry people, but I handle it there first. And then what I do is I take, so if I send to 500 people, and say I get a bunch of bounces, and after the bounces, and people's like, you don't ever bother me again, or no, I don't live in Chico anymore. And say I've got like 362, I'll take those and move them into MailChimp. And then I'll put them in a newsletter.
Into what?
MailChimp. Sorry. There's a lot, honestly, I like MailChimp just because the monkeys are funny and the interface is cool. Yeah.
I like.
See, they're specific and human and whimsical with their brand. They don't want to be human, they just monkeys.
But MailChimp gives you bounces and handles unsubscribes. Why bother with the extra?
If I had 100 bounces of this list in MailChimp would lock out my account. So I use this to actually sanitize my emails.
And since MailChimp doesn't let you talk to them, you can't complain when they lock you out.
Exactly. Now they'll send you strongly worded emails. So they are humans. They're hard to find. They're all about the monkey thing.
Chips.
Yeah. So this little framework here, I use it all the time and is really effective. And in some cases, this email will actually generate sales. I'll get sales off that, low-hanging fruit. Yeah.
Is Yesware essentially an opt-in mechanism? Does it include the can spam kind of?
No. Oh no. Yesware limitations. 200 emails per batch. You only get a batch of about 200 at a time. There's no can spam thing in there, but it's coming directly from your address. So basically, it would take me, for 500 emails, it would take me probably 3 hours to send that. It would take me about half an hour in Yesware to put together the email, because it's sending out as individual emails. And if people ask me to unsubscribe, and I've had that happen once off of, I've done 50 Yesware campaigns in the past month. Then one person, please remove me from your list. Oh yeah, that's no problem, buddy, it's done. You know, but this is not for a recurring thing. This is a good first touch. You know, and by the way, when they open the email, and some email clients, you get added to the safe senders list, meaning that you'll actually make it past the spam filters in MailChimp. So warming them up with the mail merge, or frankly, if you have a small list of like 30 people, warm them up first. Send them a little personal note from your Gmail account. It doesn't matter. Your Yahoo account. Just give them a little light touch first. Don't sell. Okay. All right. Any final questions before we wrap up?
What do you think of AWeber?
AWeber, if you are into content marketing or digital marketing, if you're selling digital products, it's probably superior to MailChimp. I am in the business of selling services, so MailChimp works better for me, and this is a training. So it's a little easier for my clients.
Constant contact.
I love constant contact with you. So. Right. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
So Nathan,
will be available to talk after the meeting. We don't have a hard stop that we have to be out of here at 12:30, but somewhere thereabouts. Thank you everyone for coming. Before we go, I would like to hear from our sponsor, Sierra Commons. Come on up here, Brian. So, Brian, what is Sierra Commons and why should we care about it? And why now, Brian?
Okay, how many people know Sierra Commons? That's good, because I think after 9 Igniter courses, which we started back in 2009, and there's Corin, myself, Machen, and Evelyn now is on the faculty presenting to the students. The Igniter course the next one's going to start in June, and we have another one in September. So if you're interested in starting a business, in fact, we're actually being asked by a lot of the old businesses, can they come back and get a refresher course from us? There's a lot of energy. We try and get people focused in the right direction. And in fact, I've just realized we have a new SCORE member here. I'd like to talk to you later, because we do refer people to external mentors as well to help them in their businesses. We also mentor at Sierra Commons, but we are now charging for it because we're a non-profit. We've got to keep the doors open. So that's what we're trying to do. But if you're interested in co-working, we have $200 a month, basically a desk, but it's a community. A lot of people enjoy that environment for their businesses because they can talk to somebody else about a business problem they're having. And if they really problem, they call me up. So if you're interested, Sierra Commons is starting another Igniter course. So thank you for the opportunity to talk.
Do you figure we could maybe raffle off nomadic membership?
Sure.
All right. So Sierra Commons is a co-working facility. It's a place that you can drop in, get access to office stuff like coffee and printers, co-workers, things like that. So there's nomadic desks.
The key thing though is we have a 50 megabits per second Ethernet, internet access. If you're working up on the ridge or whatever, you don't have that, so that helps. That's why a lot of people come in to use the internet.
It's a great group.
Yeah, and it's good just to get to know people there. It's a business community. So do we have cards?
Put your business cards in, and you can have
I didn't realize we
nomadic
collected.
membership. And,
So let's do a quick collection. While we're doing that, let's talk about what other kind of business things are going on there at Sierra Commons. So for example, Brian, can you tell us a little bit about what the CDBG program is?
CDBG, Nevada City applied for a HUD HUD grant. They got $500,000. That was for the residents of Nevada City primarily and businesses there. By negotiating with them, if you have a membership at Sierra Commons, you can also be classified as a Nevada City business because that is applied for the grant. That grant is actually shut off now. There's no more grant applications. But they are applying for a new grant that will begin next February. So if you're interested, you need to get on the waiting list. There's $10,000 grants being handed out already for about 16 people.
Did you hear that? There's $1,000 grants, $10,000 grants being handed out. 16 local businesses have won those so far. And the interesting thing about that, as far as we can tell, it's much easier to win a $10,000 grant than it is to get financing from the city of Nevada City. So consider that. Instead of having to pay it back with interest, they're saying, hey, it's easier for us to administer. If you're qualified, if your business is located in Nevada City or you are, and that's where Sierra Commons can come in, because that office there, if you start working out of Sierra Commons, if you're doing significant business there, it makes you eligible for $10,000 grants. They're going to be coming around the bend again. You can find out more at sierracommons.org.
Yeah, it's been a very successful program. The city manager's been very impressed. We have helped a lot of businesses. Quite honestly, they would never got into business if they didn't have mentoring, which is part of the program. You get free education from the SBDC. They put on programs at Sierra Commons. We do the mentoring prior to grant applications. Also, you can get mentoring after the grant applications. That's just because the HUD wants people in low income to start a business, and this is a way of helping them. So there is a restriction. If you're earning more than $54,000 a year, I think it is, Evelyn, I remember. And you can't.
Mike is 40.
Well, it's all size of families, 4 people in a family. So there are requirements, but if you meet the requirements, it's a good way of getting money. You would have got it from a bank, let's put it that way.
I was unable to hear when you were talking about the name of this.
Sorry?
I was unable to hear you when you were talking about the name of this grant.
It's called CDBG, Community Development Block Grant. It's run under the HUD, which is a state and federal program. I'm not a great believer in grants, quite honestly, but if we didn't get it, some other city would have had it. So I'm glad that we're applying for it and we're able to get it. And it's primarily because we are an underserved area, and that's what they're trying to help. It's the communities that are not growing, as they say. So this is why.
And I've seen the difference it's made for so many differences for businesses out there that are just getting off the ground and they want to invest in some staff help or they want to invest in some marketing. That $10,000 made a big difference. One of the clients I mentor won the $10,000 grant, and then went on to use that to professionalize her marketing and do some other work, and she used that to get a $20,000 Kickstarter funding. And then that was a big part of her marketing program. So it really does make a difference. James, yes?
I was in contact with David Nelson, who's with Nevada City, and I just got a message that that's on hold until...
Yeah, there's reason for that. I can explain that. Under the HUD program, the facilitator of the program is only allowed 960 hours. Don't ask me where that magic number comes from. Obama, probably. The reality is he's gone outside the number of hours. He cannot devote any more hours until the beginning of July. We have people already stacked up in the program, ready to submit their applications, which will be taken off in the beginning of July. The program finishes at the end of basic August. The actual program ends at the end of September, but there's a month's worth of paperwork that has to be done. This is bureaucracy up to the hill. And Dave's been spending a lot of time filling out the paperwork for every applicant. So he's gone past the number, so we've had to put his actions on hold right up until the end of June, basically.
Okay, short story is it's coming back.
It's coming back. Okay. We're applying for a new one. Looks like we're going to get it. We're getting an audit from HUD sometime this month or next. And from that, it will allow us to apply for the next grant, which will be in February next year. We're hoping to go for 400,000, not 500,000, because we didn't spend all the money we were allocated this year.
Okay, guys, let's do the wrap. So this is for a month nomadic membership at Sierra Commons. Nico, can you find us a card?
Or a piece of paper. But
anybody else come in and check us out?
The card.
Okay.
That's a good fit.
That's a good fit.
I'm going to put that in my wallet.
So, Troy, please talk to us, but you and I are in email contact. We'll get you the information and get that to Hillary. I'll just send an email.
I knew the biggest card in there would win one of these.
I've never seen that work. That's stupendous. I'm going to get a note.
You always say go to the smaller card, but in your case, it's really big.
Thank you, Brian. So we'll be back here next month, speaker to be announced. Please take a moment to get to know your community. And if anybody has any questions for us or wants to talk to us about leadership, sponsorships, etc., talk to Machen or myself. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next month.